Welcome back to today's episode of By the Wayside. On today's episode, I'm going to be speaking with comic book writer Duane Murray. He's a man that wears many hats, and he wears a hat on today's episode, so it's kind of interesting how that works out. We're going to be doing a summer fun Omar recommends. We're going to have lots of fun on this episode of By the Wayside. Here we go! Hey, welcome back to this episode of By the Wayside. You're probably wondering what I'm doing. Actually, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm getting real dizzy. But for props' sake, for fun's sake, and for when you click on, oh my goodness gracious, I'm like, oh, that was terrible. Oh my goodness. You're probably wondering what I was doing, why I was doing that, why I was spinning around like a complete idiot. It's mostly for your enjoyment, but also just to let you know that I like to have a little bit of fun here on every single episode of By the Wayside. The reason why I was doing the helicopter here at Wayside Comics and Cocktails in Newmarket, Ontario, is because I wanted to bring up a quick point that I believe is a good evaluation of how you could rate movies. My takes are usually pretty terrible. I digress. Why was I doing the helicopter back there? Because I have believed this for many years, that a movie's greatness is dependent on the amount of helicopters that are in it. I don't have any specific examples because that rule doesn't always apply to really great movies, but it does apply to really terrible movies. Does any of this make any sense to you? So a movie's greatness is dependent on how many helicopters are in it. So I want you to take The Matrix, for example. It's got one helicopter in it. It's a great movie. But if you take a movie like Apocalypse Now, it's an amazing movie with multiple helicopters. So that's kind of where I take my gauge of whether or not a movie is great, depending on the number of helicopters that are in it. Me talking to you about helicopters in movies doesn't make a lot of sense right off the bat of an episode of By the Wayside. But when we talk a little bit later to comic book writer Duane Murray, you're going to realize, oh, hey, he does more than write comics. So movies, Duane Murray, comic books, put your hands together. Put your hands together. This is a really fun episode. We are doing our fun summer Omar recommends. I'm going to be speaking with Duane Murray, and this is a really quick opening because sometimes people just don't want to see me talk. And I want you to know that on every episode of By the Wayside, we have lots of fun. Stick around, don't go anywhere. Right after this, I'm going to be speaking with Duane Murray. And then, oh my goodness. Oh, I might throw up. Oh my goodness. Ooh. And welcome back to this episode of By the Wayside. With me on today's episode, I wrote this out, double-checked ahead of time, of course. Comic writer Duane Murray is with me today. Duane, thank you very much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Here at Wayside Comics and Cocktails, one of the really great things about being able to do my show here is that I get to meet people from all walks of creative life. I'm not going to say maybe moonlight. I don't even know. I
do a lot of walks. A lot of walks.
Moonwalking.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Maybe we'll get you to moonwalk a little later.
It's not pretty. It's not. Yeah.
There's a lot of people here today at Wayside Comics and Cocktails, and maybe we'll get one of them to moonwalk for us. Speaking of all of the walks that you've been doing, you're involved in the machine of acting, television shows, producing.
Yeah.
Why write comic books?
So many people ask that question. Yeah, so I in the film and TV world, I do and did everything. I did a bit of producing, a bit of directing, a bit of writing, developing shows, everything. And the machine, as you describe it, is very much that. It's such a machine. Even as an actor, I'm facilitating other people's things. It's what's considered a interpretive artistic role, because you're looking at a script and you're thinking, oh, this is how I'm going to perform this. Same as with writing, same with producing, is that I was realizing I was doing either working hard getting other people's things made, or I was helping facilitate other people's things as an actor, or if I was creating something on a bigger scale, there were so many people involved that I would whatever it was that inspired me to make this thing in the first place was gone by the time it got to a point where it was going to maybe be on TV and maybe not. I couldn't even identify it as my own thing anymore. It became this whole other thing. And not, it's not good or bad, it's just not necessarily as fulfilling.
Yeah.
I've always been a comic book fan. Speaking of walks of life, for a while I was developing comic book properties into film and TV
Very
properties. Cool. I did that for a bit for a lot of independent people, even just helping them look over their option agreements and letting them know what was good about it, what was bad about it. And so I was always immersed in the comic book world, but I can't draw. And that always seemed to be a barrier for me, because even the people like the Mark Wades, like the people who didn't draw, still just seemed like this other thing. Then Kickstarter came along and I started seeing people do that. So they would raise money to pay an artist to. So that was my idea for Better Place. Better Place went through the option process. It was optioned. I was paid to do a draft of a script with a friend of mine, and it never happened, fell apart. And so the rights came back and I saw this Kickstarter stuff was happening. I saw Sean's work.
Sean Daly.
Exactly. I pitched him the idea and I rewrote the story to be a graphic novel. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll kickstart it just for printing, because printing also. But I also sent it to 2 or 3 publishers. Top Shelf got back to me the next day and agreed to publish it. And that started my love affair with writing comics.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I've always been a big comic person. It's my favorite medium to digest, but I never thought it was possible to do it as a creator, because it also wasn't my natural way into formal study. My formal study was theater school as an actor.
Okay.
And then afterwards doing a lot of workshops and even working with mentors in screenwriting and learning this craft and form of screenwriting, which is very different from comics. So it was never a thing that I studied, other than reading all those old how to write comics and things like that, which they're not actually not very good. And because comics, the form of it in terms of the script, there's no agreed upon form. Comic scripts, when I started asking about them, they're all so different that there's no sort of form to stick to. And I appreciate form. I like formalism. I like to have parameters.
There's a nice the idea of routine.
Yeah, exactly. and knowing what I'm allowed to do and what I can't do. And with comics, it doesn't exist. And so I had to learn that too, was just sort of, I write this, Sean responds this way, I write this. And that collaboration, a long way around to this answer, I just loved so much more than any of the other art mediums.
Yeah.
In terms of creating. I still love acting.
Yeah.
I still love writing for the screen. So yeah, that's how I fell into this comics thing.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of comics and the machine of Hollywood, I don't know if that's even the right term.
Toronto wood, maybe.
North Hollywood.
Yeah.
What would you rather be known for, comics or that world?
Comics. And strictly for this, like I have friends, close friends, who are comic famous and have a life. It's the best of both worlds, because they have the freedom to do whatever they want and yet can walk down the street, nothing happens. Yeah, if they go to the Beguiling, a couple people might stare, or if they have a signing, they'll have a lineup. But overall, their lives are unchanged socially.
Yeah.
I know some famous actors, and their lives are a mess. For that reason, they can't go anywhere without being surrounded by people and being bothered in restaurants and all that stuff. They do also have the freedom of getting to pick projects, which as an actor I don't have.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, what do you need me to do? I need a paycheck, I'll do it. So I am envious of that, but I'm not envious of everything that comes with it. And so I definitely would known for comics. Also, as I said before, in comics, I feel like I'm creating.
Yeah. In
film and TV, I feel like I'm interpreting or trying to hit the target of what people want.
There's a weird, not even weird, but maybe more of an interesting correlation between you are putting a piece of yourself in everything. Don't take that. That's a question I have later. I don't want to step on it just yet. But there's a separate, with writing, your mind is going to the page. But with acting, it's very much a full, I don't know how to describe it, like a full body piece of creativity.
Yeah.
It's when you say it out loud like that, it's very interesting at how those two worlds are the same but very different in many different ways.
It's funny, with acting, I always found this advice funny from other people, because if if you're doing this as a profession, acting, you are getting a lot of opportunities with very little achievement.
Yeah.
So, like a way to, if you're a baseball fan, you know, a 350 batting average is incredible. In acting, 100 batting average is incredible. Like 1 out of 10, if you get 1 gig for every 10 auditions, you're doing amazing. And if you're doing not amazing, it's worse than that. And the advice we were always giving was, you can't take it personally.
Yes.
That they just have an idea in their head. And it's hard because it's like, but it's me. It's not I've written a script and given it to you. It's me in front of a camera talking, and you're saying no.
Yeah, what a weird idea and concept to think about when you say something out loud. That's odd. That's
well, and the whole point of acting, for me anyway, for it to be a compelling interpretation of a role, you are putting yourself into it. Hopefully, a lot of yourself into it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it comes off as a read, right? It comes off as shallow, and I'm just reading lines. The truly great performances is someone putting themselves into it, and so to not take it personally when that's rejected. I mean, how do you not? You know, you're basically saying, "Here I am. This is my heart." Blah. Nah.
We're good. Next.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy here.
Yeah.
You had talked briefly a little bit about A Better Place, your first comic work.
Yes.
Which you collaborated on with Sean Daly, who he's here somewhere.
He's back there.
He's way back there somewhere.
He's chatting.
That graphic novel deals with motifs of grief.
Yes.
Was that more of a cathartic choice to utilize that motif, or was that just a story that you really wanted to tell?
It was a story that was inside of me for some reason and came out. It's funny, you know, some people, writers, obviously, everyone has a different way into things. I don't realize what I'm writing about personally until I'm like halfway done the story. I usually just, these ideas come to me and I start writing them. It's funny, early on I had a friend would say, well, what's this about? And I was like, well, it's about a little boy who, no, but what's it about? And I used to get so mad at that. I'm like, what? It's about a boy doing, that's all that matters. And it took me a while to realize with Better Place, it's like, oh, I'm writing about the death of my grandfather. And I didn't know that. I thought I was writing about this little boy, and it just came to me. But the more deeper I got into it, the more I realized, oh, that's what I'm writing about. And once I have that realization, then I more consciously start to do that. So in Better Place, they play superheroes together. My grandfather and I didn't do that, but we did pretend we were a tag team, a wrestling team, and we practiced moves in the backyard together. When my grandfather died, and he was taken by Alzheimer's, that sort of gradually, which I also put in the book. I was a very small child, and I remember seeing the body and thinking, oh, he's not there. Like, he's somewhere else. I don't know where he is. Though I was raised Catholic, I wasn't a heaven or hell person. I just had that dawning of, whoever my grandfather was isn't in that body anymore. It's somewhere else. Yeah. And that's what I realized sparked the Better Place. That's always the beauty. Real life always touches on and influences us when we go to do our creative things. The best stuff, you know, I think the best stuff, whether it sneaks in or we allow it in or we consciously put it in, the best stuff has that for sure. I agree. That just comes down to, again, another question that I'm going to touch on a little later. Right. But Duane, don't go anywhere. No one else don't go anywhere, because right after this, we have a lot more with Duane Murray again after this.
This is By the Wayside, and we'll be right back.
And we're back, of course, with Duane Murray. And what did I call you before? Comic book writer, also actor, producer, director, amazing creative guy, all-around creative guy who does moonwalking. You know, when you aren't hugely successful at one thing, you've got to do as many things as possible just to pay the bills. That's really the jack of all trades, master of none, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. I don't want to step on. I don't want to say you're terrible at all of them. I'm pretty good at all of them. I always tell people that, like, I'm pretty good at a lot of things, and I'm not amazing at anything. But I'll take that. That's good. I like that too. Yeah. I think I'm in the same boat. Yeah. We were just, right before we cut to break, we were talking about Better Place and how you were writing the story and you didn't realize that you were really taking from parts of your real life until about halfway through. Mm-hmm. So all of that brings me back to, how much of yourself do you put into your work? More than I realize, and
I always do. There is nothing, with that, because I'm also, it's another walk of life. I also am an acting coach.
Oh, okay.
And the biggest thing I always am telling the actors I work with is finding a way to personalize it. And I don't mean method acting. I'm not a method actor person, but finding something in you when you look at the scene. It's like, what does this remind you of in your life? And so making that moment real to you.
Yeah.
Not to go deep into, oh, my mother used to, not that, just sort of remember what that meant to you and approach the scene the same way. And writing comics, it's the same in the sense that I don't immediately recognize I'm putting myself into it, but once I do, I allow more myself into it. Yeah.
Okay, well, going from a better place and writing, putting yourself into writing, can you tell me a little bit more about your current work? Who are the Power Pals?
Where you're asking, what, how is that part of you? Do you dress up and go out and fight crime? And I do. So if anyone needs, I don't.
Now they're gonna know your secret identity.
I'm too frightened a person. So who are the Power Pals? This is another reason. So Better Place was originally, because I didn't understand how to write comics and get into comics, was a screenplay.
Okay.
And I used to write everything I did with a co-writer, who in the book you'll see his credit. His name is Shane Belcourt, my best friend. He and I were writing that together. Eventually I said, you know what, I want to make this comic. Gave me his blessing. Power Pals was another thing that we were creating together. It usually came from me because I was the comics guy and I was the guy who thought up crazy ideas. And so I had this idea about these friends who were famous for 3 seconds. Years later, they are no longer, because they weren't really famous. They were just a blip on the thing.
And 15 minutes of fame.
Exactly. But even less, like 15 seconds of fame.
Okay.
And then and they missed that because they've been struggling for years to achieve that. Like when you talk about what do you want to be known for? These people, these two guys want to be known. They think actors, but really they just want to be known.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do that.
Isn't that an influencer?
Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, and that ends up being the route one of them wants to take, right? Is the easy route, which is I don't want to have to do anything. I want to pretend to do things.
Yeah.
And then look at all these views. Let's keep doing the pretending. We were asked to pitch it. We pitched it to Ivan Reitman. He hated it. It went away for a long time.
Classic Ivan.
And after Better Place, the same thing. I was like, you know what? I actually think, and it's funny because now I started to think, was I always just subconsciously thinking up ideas that worked better as comics actually, and I just didn't go there. So with Better Place, we actually had a script, all that. With Power Pals, which was called Super Zeros at the time.
Interesting.
Then Jimmy Palmiotti did something called that, and so I couldn't use it that again. Thanks.
Classic.
And then Jimmy, Jimmy and Joe. I loved creating a graphic novel with Sean. I want to now try comics meant for a comic book store because that was my thing. So I want to do issues, and I think this is the story to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I found Ahmed Rafat, reached out to him. I said, here's my pitch, because I'd already had the pitch. Do you want to do this? And he said yes. And so we created a pitch. I got him to draw 6 pages and a cover, and we pitched it to Dark Horse. And Dark Horse said yes. Then Ahmed got asked by Kevin Smith to do quick stops.
Yep. So
Power Pals got pushed.
Classic Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. So Ahmed did that. Then he came on, and then we did that. It is myself in there because as an actor, I have come really close to some things that would have changed my life, and then not gotten them, and my life remains unchanged in that way. And I was on a kids show called What's Up Warthogs, R.I.P. What's Up Warthogs. Went a couple seasons, and that was a show that I was in where I was very silly and did it, and it paid me well. But when they were talking about a 3rd season, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Even I was getting notoriety. Kids were noticing me on the street. Like, it was a weird thing, but it's like, I don't want to be known for that. I would have done it because I needed the money, but it got canceled anyway. Yeah. So the part of me that's in there is that sort of, I do want to be known, but I don't want to be known that way. I am a struggling actor. And the friendship is Shane and I, who used to write together. We still do, but not the way we used to make sure we did everything together. That was a relationship that through certain projects would become fractured. Yeah. And so that friendship is very much in Power Pals. So though it's a very silly story, there is a lot of me in it in terms of quest for fame, failure, friendship,
Yeah.
all that stuff. The F's.
It's almost lots of F's.
Lots of F's.
Especially when it comes to friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting that no matter what you do in all of your walks of life and creativity, there's always a piece of you in what you are doing. It's interesting how you talk about. So we've met a couple times in real life. You've been very silly. So in the show that you did, what's it called again? I Love Warthogs.
What's up, Warthogs?
What's up, Warthogs? Same thing. Warthogs.
It's basically it's Warthogs. That's all you need to know.
You're a silly individual in real life, silly individual on screen. Yeah, I dig it. I love how you as an actor can identify that you're putting yourself in multiple different creative roles when you're doing your own pieces and when you're doing something for someone else. I think it's important to be self-aware of that.
Yeah.
Duane, I had teased with you off camera that I had something special to show you.
Yes.
A little bit of a surprise, and I'm going to show you that right now.
Okay.
So I got to bring out the laptop.
Fancy.
Excuse me. Oh. So we're gonna. So we're just gonna put in my password because I didn't take off the password. You were in a show.
This doesn't look familiar yet. So
not yet.
All right.
Not yet. You were in a show called Accused.
Yes.
It was. Hold on. I wrote it down.
Not that long ago. Last year?
Margot's story.
Yes.
And I was in a show called Accused.
Okay.
Billy's story.
Okay.
Now, my role was so teeny tiny, you blink and you miss it.
Right.
And I'm about to show you my role.
Okay, I'm going to not blink.
I will pause it at the moment that I am in this scene.
Okay, that's not you.
This is not me.
Okay, you're not the young girl.
I am not the young girl.
No.
I am not the young man.
No.
Oh, I wrecked it.
Oh.
Hold on. Oh, I was there a second ago.
No, you weren't.
Oh, I was. Duane, you missed
I did. I promise I didn't even blink. So he threw the thing in.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
See that little spot right there?
What do you mean? Like you're out on a boat?
I am the...
I don't have my glasses, so I can't even see.
Oh, this is...
So wait.
That little spot that is the color of my skin above that black cardboard is my hand. And as we progress through the scene, you will see the character throws the thing onto the boat.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, let's go for a boat ride. Let's do some amazing things. We're going to go out onto the lake, which was recorded on Lake Simcoe.
Okay.
And he's looking for the boat lower thing. And he goes, oh, I can't seem to find it. And he presses it. And then he says, oh, I got it. And it starts to lower.
Right.
Guess who's lowering the boat left?
You are.
That is correct.
Right.
So you and I have a shared...
We're basically the same.
We are, of course, two both struggling actors trying to find our way in the silly world of the Toronto North Hollywood machine.
And I feel like from a distance hand modeling is something you need to add to your resume. Not close up, but clearly from far away.
My name is not, I am not on the IMDb. I was not in the final credits of that episode.
Right.
But I did get paid for it.
That's
that's
all that matters. I gotta tell you, I still get paid like residuals for something called Grey Gardens on HBO that I was completely cut out of.
Interesting.
And I'm fine with it because they're still sending me checks occasionally.
I could go for a good check right about now.
Yeah.
Duane, thank you very much for taking the time
you.
with me today here on By the Wayside at Wayside Comics and Cocktails. It was much appreciated, and I look forward to reading more about how you put yourself into... I gotta watch how I word this. How you put yourself into your creative endeavors.
Great.
Thanks, Duane. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Stick around. We got lots more on this episode, so don't go anywhere. And welcome back to this episode of By the Wayside. I really like talking to people. Of course, if there's a camera in my face, I really like talking in front of a camera. Heck, I just like talking. I realized I didn't flip the card over. There we go. Typically, after I interview an amazing guest here on every episode of By the Wayside, we take an opportunity to learn about some great comic book recommends. Omar is never really in a box about what he could recommend. Omar could recommend a movie. He could recommend a food dish. He could recommend a type of car. That's the beauty of the Omar Recommends segment. Omar recommends something for you. That's you, the individual that is watching right now. It's like I'm speaking directly to you. That's the beauty of television and the internet, friends. I'm talking directly to you, Cindy. I sure hope someone named Cindy's watching. I reached out to Omar Sayer, owner and purveyor of Wayside Comics and Cocktails, and I asked Omar, I said, Omar, Summer starting. What are some great summer recommends? Let's find out.
Okay, so summer reading. For this summer, we're going to start off with Fantastic Four Solve Everything. This is one of the new Marvel Premier Collection editions. If you're looking for where to start with Fantastic Four, this is a great place to start. This is a story that kind of redefined the Fantastic Four for the modern age. Jonathan Hickman tells an awesome story in here. It's very cinematic and well worth your time. Check it out. Building off of that, because we're talking about the summer and events in the summer are the big thing. If you like Fantastic Four, if you like where the Marvel Universe is going, well, you might as well check out Secret Wars, which is what it seems like the MCU is building towards. This is about the end of the multiverse. This is a big, awesome crossover involving Doctor Doom and all the heroes and all the worlds colliding and reestablished, or not reestablished, but kind of redefined how the modern Marvel Universe looks like. And like I said, this is what they seem to be building towards, so check it out. See what all the hype's about, because it's pretty good, and the artwork is gorgeous by Esad Ribic. It's all about tunes in the summer, and you want good tunes. Well, I'm going to hit you with one of the best, Murder Falcon. Premise is very simple. Evil is coming to take over the earth, and when this man plays metal hard enough, he summons the beast, the Murder Falcon, to fight evil. How awesome is that? Now he's got to get his band back together and discover the secret instruments that give him the monstrous weapons to be able to fight the evil. And amongst all of that, because it's a Daniel Warren Johnson story, the artwork's amazing, but it's also very heavy with the words, very poignant, and will make you feel things, which is important. It shows that you're not dead inside. Finally, Where the Body Was, which is a kind of a whodunit tale in one neighborhood during the 80s about a dead body that shows up, and it kind of jumps around the neighborhood, and you get to see the different perspectives of different characters and how the summer passes and then trying to figure out what happened. But this is just a great little one-off that they did, great murder mystery, and has that very nice slice of life feel to it. And again, it takes place during the summer, so it feels very apt for what you might be looking for. And that's all I got for you today. So we will catch you by the wayside. Get some good reads in, check out one of these books, and yeah, just keep reading comics, guys. It's the best.
Thanks, Omar. I appreciate it. Stick around. We got lots more on this episode. Actually, usually after an Omar recommends, there's not lots more. Don't go anywhere. And of course, that was a complete episode of By the Wayside. I want to thank you for checking out everything that's happening on every single episode of By the Wayside, whether you go to waysideshow.com or you're watching it on television at Rogers TV. I want to thank you very much for your support. It means the world. Speaking of, I want to thank Duane Murray, of course, and all my guests for being here. I want to thank Omar, owner of Wayside Comics and Cocktails, which is where we do 99.68 episodes of the show. If you're interested, you can always go back and see what shows we didn't do here. That's always fun. I want you to know that this show specifically, not this episode, this show is supported by Wayside Creative. Wayside Creative, of course, is, I got to get this right, it's a new Canadian publishing imprint that focuses on cinematic storytelling from innovative voices. Make sure you head to the website that has popped up to check them out. By you supporting them, they support us. It's great synergy. The Wayside brand is the brand you want to be on board with. So then we're going to do the social media stuff. Boom, 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 boom. It's here. Didn't plan that one out. I would love it if you followed, liked, shared, subscribed, commented on all of the social media stuff that is right here. Your support means a lot. Like I had said at the beginning of the segment, your support means a lot. And on that note, about after you have followed the show on all the social media sites and you've shared it with all of your friends and your family and members of parliament and individuals in government, I am your host, Jordan Middlebrook. I think that's the first time I've said that this whole episode. Oh no, I ruined it all. I'm Jordan Middlebrook. I'll catch you by the wayside.